Picture this, khaki pants floating gracefully through the desert air. Suddenly, BAM, an RV barreling out of control crashes into a ditch, billowing toxic smoke. Out steps Walter White, a man in a gas mask, a green button-down shirt, and absolute nothing but his tidy witties. Inside the vehicle, two seemingly dead bodies and a passed-out kid. Walt grabs a camcorder, records a tearful goodbye to his family, pulls out a handgun, and points it down the road as sirens echo in the distance. Talk about starting with a bang. How did a middle-aged guy end up in his underwear, waiting for a shootout with the cops? Flashback to 3 weeks earlier. Walt is a brilliant, Nobel Prize-contributing chemist who has somehow ended up as a deeply depressed high school chemistry teacher in Albuquerque. If the unmotivated teenagers mocking his lectures aren't humiliating enough, Walt's second job is working as a cashier and tire scrubber at a local car wash. To top it off, it's his 50th birthday, celebrated with depressing veggie bacon that spells out 50. At his surprise party later that night, his loudmouth, macho DA brother-in-law, Hank Schrader, completely upstages him, showing off his service weapon and a TV news broadcast of a recent meth bust. Walt watches the screen, completely transfixed by the fact that a simple drug operation netted $700,000. The universe decides to throw another wrench into Walt's miserable existence. During a shift at the car wash, he collapses, coughing up blood. At the hospital, the doctor delivers a devastating diagnosis: inoperable lung cancer. He has a couple of years left at best. Something inside Walt snaps. The fear that governed his whole life evaporates. He goes back to the car wash, looks his arrogant boss in the eye, drops the ultimate "F you in your eyebrows" asterisk bomb, and storms out. With a death sentence hanging over him and a pregnant wife and teenage son to support, Walt decides he has nothing left to lose. Walt takes Hank up on an offer to go on a DEA ride along to a real-life meth bust. While Hank busts down the front door, Walt waits in the car and spots someone escaping through a second-story window. It's Jesse Pinkman, one of Walt's former flunking students, now operating under the street name Captain Cook. Later that night, Walt tracks Jesse down and delivers an ultimatum: partner up and use Walt's chemistry genius to cook the purest meth on the market, or get turned in. Jesse is completely baffled, famously asking why a straight-edged old guy is suddenly Breaking Bad. Walt's response? I am awake. To avoid drawing attention, Walt steals top-tier glassware from his high school lab, and Jesse buys a beat-up RV to serve as their mobile laboratory. They drive deep out into the New Mexico desert. To keep the chemical stench off his clothes, Walt strips back down to his underwear, and they get to work. What follows is pure science magic. Walt crafts a batch of crystal meth so pure, so glass-like, that Jesse is genuinely awestruck, calling it art. The honeymoon ends instantly when Jesse tries to sell the product to his local distributor, Crazy 8. Crazy 8 and his partner Emilio, who thinks Jesse set him up, force Jesse to take them to the Cook site. When Emilio recognizes Walt from the DEA bust, guns are drawn. Thinking fast on his feet, Walt offers to show them his secret recipe in exchange for his life. Once inside the RV, Walt intentionally mixes red phosphorus with hot water, generating a cloud of lethal phosphine gas. He bolts out, trapping the dealers inside to choke on the fumes, but a stray cigarette sparks a massive brush fire outside. Walt is in his underwear, holding a gun, bracing for the cops, but as the vehicles round the corner, he realizes they aren't police cars at all, they're fire trucks racing to put out the desert fire. A battered Jesse stumbles out of the RV, and they somehow manage to drive the mobile lab back to town. Walt returns home to his wife, Skylar, completely transformed. The timid, emasculated teacher is gone.